Stand by.
3, 2, 1.
The following program comes from executive producer Lilian Garcia.
Every athlete is on this quest. Every performer dives in head first, battling real-life challenges and overcoming obstacles in an effort to make their dreams reality. Singer, speaker, and 15-year WWE host Lilian Garcia was the first woman to ever announce WrestleMania and is now the PFL MMA cage announcer. And now she's giving you an all-access pass to the human interest stories of elite athletes,
Extraordinary entertainers and wellness experts.
Now, let's embark on another fascinating journey
Of chasing glory.
with your host, Lilian Garcia.
Es el sol español, es el sol español, es el sol español. That's right, español. Hello everybody, welcome to Chasing Glory. So excited to bring this episode to you from Madrid, Spain. Now this is the last stop on the Europe tour. We've been in Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, and now Madrid, Spain. And why Madrid? Well, that's because I actually grew up here for the first 8 years of my life. How? Well, as an American, my father worked for the American Embassy here in Spain as a lieutenant colonel. So that's as simple as that. Ah, so special to be back. So special to share this with all of you. You can actually watch the show right now as I'm bringing you sights from Spain. All you have to do is go to youtube.com/Lilian Garcia and you can see the show. If you're listening to the show, great. Thank you so much for all of that every single week. But now you can go and watch the show as well. Make sure you follow the show at Chasing Glory on Instagram. It's that simple, just at Chasing Glory. Follow me at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, and Lilian Garcia official fan page on Facebook. Okay, so the first stop here in Madrid is Plaza Mayor. Very, very, very popular with everyone out here enjoying the sights, enjoying the food, enjoying just being around with each other. It has got everything you can think of. Entertainers, like I said, so much food, and just the energy that Madrid has. Everybody enjoying each other's company. So Plaza Mayor actually got built in 1580. It used to be the old heart of Madrid. And now, Puerta del Sol, right down the street, has kind of become the Times Square of Madrid, Spain. It is full of entertainers, of so much life, of so much shopping. It is endless with people out on the streets. It's because that is what it's all about, life. From Madrid to heaven is a saying. From Madrid al cielo. Ay, sí. Es bien, bien especial aquí estar con todos ustedes. So special to be here, bringing this to all of you. So the food has been phenomenal. Tortilla española, jamón ibérico, gambas a la plancha, sangría, and la paella. Ah, so much to eat here. It's incredible. All right, so thank you so much for making this part of the tour. You guys are the reason that we're here. Thank you to audible.com for sponsoring this. All you guys have to do is go to audible.com/Lilian Garcia to get your free 30-day trial, to get your free download of a free book, and also 2 Audible originals. All right, so from Madrid, the energy here, we're gonna be going this Friday to Las Vegas, Nevada. Why Las Vegas, Nevada? Well, it's because it's the home of the PFL playoffs, the Professional Fighters League MMA. I am their cage announcer. So excited to be back in the cage because the regular season has been finished and now the fighters have been getting ready for the playoffs, and then from the playoffs going to the championship. The championship is New Year's Eve. Everybody in this is fighting for $1 million. 6 divisions. This Friday, 2 of those divisions are going to be fighting, the welterweight division and the women's 155-pound division. Now, in the welterweight division, we have my guest today, John Doomsday Howard. Man, I fell in love with him and his story, so incredible. And when I got into this interview and really learned more about him, I was blown away because he found out something in his 30s that you guys are going to be blown away by, and the fact that he is representing a certain type of people that he says, you know what, we can do it. I don't want to give it away. So John Doomsday Howard, he was amazing in the regular season, and now he is part of the playoffs. And so I wanted to bring this to you as heading into the PFL. All right, so without further ado, here we go. From Madrid to Las Vegas, John Doomsday Howard's journey of chasing glory.
Calling Boston, Massachusetts his home, John Doomsday Howard has been fighting from childhood all the way to adulthood. Raised by a single mother, John would play sports, and after high school, he would learn the electrical trade, but would eventually fall into martial arts. He would become known for his excellent grappling skills at his local gym and would make the transition into being a full-time mixed martial artist fighter. He would begin fighting professionally in the New England area, where he obtained an impressive 10-4 record before catching the eye of UFC officials. John would go on to win his first 4 UFC fights, including earning both Fight of the Night and Knockout of the Night honors. He would suffer a few losses, which led him to fighting outside of the UFC banner. But after winning his next 6 out of 7 fights, he would return to the UFC by fighting and defeating top prospect Uriah Hall in his hometown of Boston. Although his UFC career didn't pan out the way he wanted, John would keep fighting and would sign with the World Series of Fighting promotion and was part of the company's transition into the Professional Fighters League. While he remains an integral part of the PFL's Welterweight Division, it is outside of the cage where his fighting skills consistently get put to the test. Growing up, John would always struggle with learning disabilities and spent much of his childhood in special education classes. He would have speech issues, but he would get the constant support from his mother. But at the age of 33 years old, after a series of neurological tests, doctors deemed him clinically autistic. But no matter what, John does not consider himself disabled or handicapped. He continues to fight both inside and outside of the ring, looking for new ways to inspire and motivate young children that are struggling with similar issues. John is living proof that life can get better, even if it takes a little while to get there. Get fired up, because it's about to get real, raw, and inspiring with John Doomsday Howard. All right, we got John in the house. I am so excited for this interview myself. Welcome, Doomsday, to Chasing Glory. So great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, I've been wanting to do an interview on you because let me tell you something. You've made an impression. You've made an impression in the PFL already. You've made an impression on me. I love the fact that I'm in this now with MMA, switching from WWE to MMA. It's been a lot of fun. To see what goes on, the different mentality that's going on in the ring. And you're someone, I want to get your Chasing Glory story, but let me tell you, we got to go straight to the last time I left you was in the ring. I introduced you, and next thing you knew, whoa, you knocked out Ray Cooper III, the first knockout he has ever received.
Yes.
And you were in a sink or swim situation in the fact that if you did not win that night, you were going home. Oh man, talk to me about that moment.
All right, well, before I get started talking about that, I want to say thank you, because the last thing I remember, the last thing I heard is about to get real. That's all. That's the last thing I keep hearing. So now I know that's my trigger. So from now on, for hopefully for my rest of career, definitely forever, I want to say thank you for that, because that was the trigger. And that's one of my triggers. Before I start my story, I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh,
that was awesome.
yes.
Let me tell you, let me explain my situation. So what happened is, I knew it was a basically either win or go home scenario.
Right.
And I know I had to get at least 5 to 4 points to even get in the tournament in the first place. So the whole camp, we just concentrating, putting our hands up, swinging, and going forward, and just going as hard as possible. The actual plan was to get him a little bit tired and finish him the second round.
Oh,
because he dies down after the second round. But what happened is he was so aggressive, and right before the fight, a lot of people don't see it. There's a big picture with me, my hands out like this.
Okay.
Well, basically, I was trying to tell him, are we really going for this? Are we swinging for the fences? and he gave me the signal like, yes, I want this fight. I'm like, oh, you want to bang hard? I'm like, okay, let's do this. So once I knew that was the type of fight he wanted, I got more excited. He came forward hard as possible, and when he came forward, I just counter with my left hand. And a lot of people don't understand the left hand was just to stop him. The right hand was the one to put him up, but the right hand missed.
Oh,
Be like,
okay.
if you actually watch the video, the right hand misses, because my whole plan, I thought he was like I respect him as a beast. I know if I was gonna fight myself, like I say, everybody, I think he's a younger version of myself. I was gonna fight myself. I know to take myself out. So I do the left hand to finish, to start, and the right hand to finish. What happened is the left hand put him down, and the right hand missed. I was like, oh. In my head, I was like, oh my goodness, you've never been hit by another hawk. Like I see Ray Cooper as a hawk, but the thing is, I hit him like, no, you're not the only hawk walking around here in this weight division. So once he got hit like that, I think that changes everything. And from there, he got back up. I heard my coaches, shout out to Sean Graham and Jake Pillar, my cornerman at PFL. I just heard get up, and hit him again. I got up and he was there. I hit him, finished him up, and then boom, we won 6 points when we ended the tournament. It's unreal.
So exciting. Did you see, I mean, I'm sure you have, Joe Rogan's expression was classic.
Yes. Shout out to Joe Rogan, number one. I love that dude. He's from Boston, not a Bostonian. He always had my back for my whole UFC career, for my own MMA career, and now starting my PFL career. And it was awesome. It was heartwarming for him to lose his mind and get so excited to see me do that. So it was like, I just say nothing but thank you to him. He always had my back. Thank you, Joe Rogan, again.
Yeah, man, I immediately had to post that myself because it was so classic that I posted up. There was like, you got to see this expression. This is classic. He was so genuinely excited for you. And that's how I even was at Cage. I mean, I like Ray. It's nothing about that, right? But just the way it went down, I was like, oh, man, this is classic. That's what's been so much fun about watching this. Now, your nickname, Doomsday.
Yes.
I mean, it's so funny because so many people love Spider-Man. You would think you want to be Spider-Man, but no, you went for the villain. Why?
Yeah. Well, this is what happened years ago. Before I started fighting, my name was supposed to be John Superman Howard, because I had a lot of power in my hands. It was like, you have so much power for your size, and you being a welterweight, you're like Superman. I was like, yeah, but I don't like Superman. Superman's like grandma's apple pie. It's too perfect. I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm on the side. I'm a little crazy. I'm rugged. You know, I come from a situation where it wasn't perfect. So they were like, well, what would you be? I said, I don't know. So we stopped talking. We're like, well, Superman got killed like Doomsday. I'm like, yeah. And I said to Joe, I'm supposed to be John Doomsday Howard. Ha, ha, ha. I don't know. As soon as I said that, we kept saying it. And from that day on, John Doomsday Howard. I became Doomsday.
And do you feel it? Do you feel it? Like, have you been able to channel that?
Oh yes, and I gotta say this one thing I gotta say about Ray. I respect you, good fight, but you welcome to the beast. I appreciate that, because it's been years since someone's put me under that type of pressure that make like the Doomsday come out of me. Where there's only certain fights that comes out of me, but him bringing that back out of me now, I can't put him away. Doomsday out to stay. Now he really wants to play. Man. So I was saying thank you, but I said if I see you in the finals, expect that again, because I'm more ready. Doomsday is here.
I noticed actually a difference from the first fight when I introduced you there to when I introduced you to this one. Like, you were pacing, you were just, you couldn't wait. You were so fired up to get real.
Yes.
So I was like, you can see it.
The big difference is when I fought Magomedov, it was not that a shock, but it was a shock. I was fighting the champion for one. And I felt the game plan we had was a good game plan. It's just his guillotine is really insane. He caught me with a good guillotine. And then I didn't even have the mindset. I thought I could be the better grappler, and big mistake there. And he caught me. So my mindset was more like, you know what, I can't come walking here thinking, you know, because of my skill set of the past years, that is going to carry me. I really have to be hungry, going to be more agile, be like a dog in a piece of meat again. So on the second fight, when I got fight Ray Cooper, and his reputation is known. I mean, he beat Jake Shields twice. He beat so many legit people. So when I had to fight him, I'm like, you know what? This is the fight that's going to prove to me if I belong in the PFL on the first one, and if I should still be doing this. It's just not. I can't depend just on my skill and experience. I need to be that young kid again who was crazy back in school, old school like UFC days, just knocking kids out left and right. Well, that was a mind focus. My coach, Shaw Graham, shout out again. He said, listen, the one thing you got to do is remember your left hand. Your left hand's from hell. Like every time you put your left hand on this pad or anybody, you hurt them. Put your left hand on this kid. He's not gonna be able to trust me. It's a shocker. So I was like, all right, coach, I believe you. So the whole camp was counter left hand, counter left hand, coming up, counter left hand. All right, counter left hand into the right. And then exactly what we thought. He'll come in wild, he swings wild, hands down, calm with the left hand. And the funny part is, what I really want to find out, if I get to fight Ray Cooper again, is me hitting my power coming forward, because my left hand going backwards was 26 miles an hour.
Wow.
26.5 miles an hour, which I never knew my left hand was that fast. And a lot of people know that's 26.5, but I threw my whole body weight into that. So that was 26, and that day I was probably like 189, 187. So it's 26 times 187. That's what put him down.
Wow. How do you like that? The fact that the PFL measures that. Isn't that pretty cool? The Cageonomics.
That's amazing. That's new. That's new technology and a whole way to look at MMA, because I'm committed to PFL to UFC. The one thing I like better about the PFL is the technology and the point system and the situation. And nothing, 2 fights in one night. Like any real MMA fighters, especially UFC fighters, the UFC champions, I know they dream about fighting twice in one night. Well, now in PFL, you can't.
You can.
You know
Why do you dream? Because sometimes you hear that, like any wrestler or whatever, maybe, they thinking of doing twice in one night, especially a spectator like me, I would think, oh man, that's a lot. The fighters would probably hate that. Why would you like that?
Well, I like that because I come from the old school. I'm watching Pride and stuff like that back in the day. And those guys, Van the Silva, Crow Cop, Shogun, all of them on Rampage. Those guys, even Chuck Liddell, UFC champion, fought twice in one night. You know what I'm saying? He left the UFC, you know what I'm saying, to fight twice in one night, which at that time you only could do in Pride. It's the spirit. That's a world warrior spirit. That's how you know you're a real warrior, to get that. It's like that old school blessing, and all MMA real fighters know what I'm talking about. You was back in the day, and you saw these world champions fought twice in one night. You're like, you know what? Not only do I want to do MMA, but I want to be that dude to fight twice in one night. I'm telling you, it takes a special type of MMA fighter to fight twice in one night. I'm telling you, I'm honored to be on the archives on that. Under the Chuck Liddells, the Vanderlei Silvas, the Sakurabas, the Gracies, the Rampages, the great, I could go on and on and on. It's now to be on that same archive. It's on that. A lot of UFC fighters would, as long as it's in UFC, would never get the opportunity to legally fight twice in one night. But in PFL, you make that happen. So I'm so happy. It's not even funny.
So you're ready for the playoffs?
Oh, I'm more than ready for it. I've been training hard for this, training to get ready for this. I fought last year in the playoffs and didn't work out my way when I fought with the situation. I beat my first fighter, which was I'm sorry, Gordon. There it is. It was Gordon. And then my second fight was Taylor, in which ended up he threw a knee accidentally on the ground, and I think it should have been DQ, went my way, but the way they scored it, I don't know what happens, but it ended up that it was a draw of the fight, and they gave it to him, and he wanted to win $1 million. And I'm proud of that he won $1 million, because it speaks for himself how good he is.
Right.
And I'm glad that he won, because when people say, how do you feel about Doomsday? Well, I feel that maybe one day that's a perfect fight in the future, because he never beat me and I never beat him. That's a draw.
Yeah.
But that being said, this year I haven't experienced fighting twice in one night. My goal is not only to fight twice in one night, but to have 2 victories in one night. That's my goal this time, and I'm really excited. I'm really confident it's going to happen for me.
What would it mean for you to go against Magomed Karamov again? Because here he was at the beginning. If he does make it into the finals and you get all the way to the finals, let's get to that mentality that yes, you're facing him, for example.
I'm a different fighter now. I'm a
Okay.
totally different. Like I said, I gotta say thank you to Ray Cooper. He woke up the doomsday out of me. And
Wow.
trust me, I'm a whole different fighter. I train differently. I come into there, I have a different energy. I'm more excited now. I'm eager. I'm like, now I just want to break faces again. Like I'm really that doomsday drive I used to have as a kid is like really back, and I'm excited. So when Meganov fights me, that's the guy he's gonna fight. He has a fight guy who knocked out Ray Cooper.
Yeah.
Whole different fight now, whole different fight. And now that he's seen that, because the science is on paper, as fighters, he did beat Ray Cooper, yes, but he beat Ray Cooper the second round. I beat Ray Cooper the first round. So
Right.
that science throws a lot of stuff up. It's like, yeah, I might have beat you the first time, but what you did in your past, the same fighters we fought in the past, I did it quite faster than you did. So that dynamic shakes a lot of things up. So he knows if we fought again, whole different fighter now. And trust me, because he's going to say, I couldn't face Ray the first time. This dude did. I have to watch out because Ray is no easy fight for no one.
Not at all. And who knows, if it could be you and Ray in the finals, maybe. You never know how this whole thing works out, right?
Possible.
But $1 million.
Possible.
Let's talk about $1 million.
Yes.
What would $1 million mean to you? I mean, it's amazing that fighters are getting this opportunity in the PFL. I love that. Yeah, what would it mean?
It will make me a life changing. I could take care of my family, give my kids a better opportunity with schooling and living situations. I just could be a better father all the way around, and that's my goal. If a lot of people watch my Snapchats and my Instagram, I'm all about my kids. I'm all dad life now. It's all
4
my
kids.
4 kids. Yep, 3 girls and 1 boy. 2 teenagers and 2 young ones. I have about to be 17, 16-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, I'm a dad life.
Yeah. Do you feel the pressure of being a dad?
A little bit, not so much as I think I should, but a little bit. Only because I want to have my daughters to have a good reputation with a great manners. Yeah. So that being that's the pressure I feel. That I want to be a representation with my daughters pick their mate, and especially this role. If it's a female or male, you never know how they grow up. But if they do pick a male, I want to be that representative of a figure what a male should be up to a female. So that's the pressure I feel is like changing my whole outlook and all that stuff. A lot of things I don't do no more. I don't party as much as no more. I don't the young kid I used to be a little crazy and wild, that's all changed. Right now all I do is really is about my fighting career and take care of my kids. And if I can win this $1 million, I could give my kids a better future.
Yeah. Wow. So you actually grew up with your mom being a single mom, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was just you and your brother?
No, it was just me and my sister that grew my mother. My mother has 2 kids, which is me and my sister, and on my father's side, which I'm not talk so much about my father because he ain't such a good guy. He has like 7, 8 kids.
Oh wow.
From like all different women. So that's tells you what type of guy he is. I know that when I talk about my brother, that's my siblings on that side.
Got it.
I talk to them here and there. The ones on my mother's side is just me and my sister.
So you and your sister grew up in Boston.
Yes.
With your mom, single mom. Do you feel the lack of not having your father around? Like, what was that like for you? Is that what made you? Because I read that you got in a lot of fights when you were growing up. Was there like kind of a bit of an anger as to where was he in your life?
It was a bit of anger. Where he was, and I didn't understand the situation, and I didn't understand what type of man he was, and he wasn't a man's man, as I will say, because even though he did pay child support, that's the only credit I can give to him in my life as him being in my life.
Yeah.
Growing up without a father, not know someone to give you guidelines in the right way, especially in coming in the neighborhood, being in Dorchester with endangered him, whatever, where I could have fallen into the wrong influence and him not being there, that kind of hurt and everything. That really put a little damper on my life, but I was able to come through and all that, basically find my own father. I have father figures where when I see a guy who's a good father figure, like that's my coach, Shaw Graham, he's like a good father figure for him. So a lot of, even life advice, I come to him still because I have that much respect for him. So I found a way to fill that void, right? With my father personally, I know he's gonna see it's a crazy situation between me and my father because he's just a bitter man. He cares nothing about me. He knows exactly who I am. He knows how famous I am, and he still wants nothing to do with me. So that's that's the type of man he is. So forget him. That being said, the only thing that does is inspire me to be a better dad, because I never want my kids to feel what my father continues makes me feel. So with that right there, I'm able to void that out of my life and say, all right, so you know what? You wasn't a good dad. You wasn't be there. I don't think you know how to be a good dad. But you know what? That's your issue you have to deal with. I'm not going to start my life. I'm going to be a greater, better dad to my kids. And when my kids, what I had to go through suffer without dad, my kids won't.
I love that, John. You know what, you're teaching somebody right now, that just because somebody has the label of dad doesn't mean that they're really dad. And the fact that you reached out to other people to fill that, they're your real fathers, right? So you can actually pick your family. And that's a beautiful thing, because so many people struggle with that. If their own genetic, biological family is not great, they feel like, the end of the world, and they feel like they are the only ones in this world struggling through that. And that's why I want to bring up is to definitely say, no, that's all right. So thank you for sharing that for sure. So your path, I mean, I know you played football and you played basketball, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So how was that for you?
That was good. I played basketball for a little bit. Didn't work because I'm short. So that had to go too far. I tried. I was like, nah, I could barely touch. I could grab the rim. I can't dunk it. I'm short. So they're like, no. But football was my thing because I was strong and powerful and I was short. I was a tailback. I made varsity as a tailback.
Wow.
And we almost went to the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Years ago, my freshman year, and I figured that almost went to the Super Bowl, and I was a tailback. It was my first time making varsity. It was amazing. So, and my coach said I had certain backing because I mean, nothing. I guess the story ever told. I am a poor kid. I was on the football team, but I could barely afford pads. I barely got cleats. It was like a hand-me-downs. It was bad. I mean, my coach said all the time, if you had the better situation, I could have went to the NFL because the numbers and stuff I was doing was amazing. It's just the struggles of growing up prevented me from going all the way in that field.
Do you feel a void from that, or did MMA fill that?
MMA filled that. MMA give me a chance to like really express a lot of my anger, a lot of my frustration, growing up in life, and then I could, fight and not get in trouble. So that's the situation. A lot of people, I would say, is being from Dorchester, you have to learn how to fight. You have to fight. I come from a situation where people will walk up to me and just hit me and say, I want to fight you right now. I tell them, listen, this logically makes no sense. I don't know you. I don't want to fight you. All I want to do is go home. They're like, I don't care. We're fighting. Boom. And we end up fighting. And that was like at least twice a month, something stupid like that would happen. Because in my neighborhood, we come from a place where I call it the jungle. There's no boundaries. There's no common sense. It's just literally survival. Hey, I want this problem. Like, listen, I don't want to fight. Well, you gotta have to fight, defend yourself. I have to do that. So that's why fighting for me fill the void where, and now because I survived like that going on life, fighting is not much easier. It's easier because now I got to fight. I'm so used to it. It's like, no, it's not violent or anything, but we got to do it. Now we're gonna do it. But now fighting makes more sense because I get paid for it, and I get to do other great things with it, like teaching kids and teaching jiu-jitsu, traveling the world, and because of fighting, I've been all over the world, from Thailand to Paris to Japan, all kinds of different places, Brazil, training, all kinds of different places because of fighting. So like it filled the void and opened up the world to me, honestly.
Yes. What would you say to people that say that, MMA, that kind of fighting is so like just brutal, and yet you're teaching kids, hey, you can do jiu-jitsu and this. Like, one thing that I've noticed, the transition from WWE, watching ringside and watching the matches where it's more entertainment, a lot of athleticism, and yes, things go wrong, but they're not bashing their faces in, right? And now I'm at cage side, and sometimes, go wrong, and there's a lot of blood, and I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, it is a transition that I'm getting used to. But yet when I'm watching it, I go, man, there really is an art to it, there really is a mental thing where you're just watching. Where can I get my in? You know, and what kind of in? Because there's so many different moves. So what would you say to people that are like, no, it's violent, it's awful?
I would say no. They can say that. One, if you let's put the signs on. If you compare MMA to like NFL, okay, there's been more deaths and more serious injuries in the NFL than MMA. And
Oh, wow.
And in MMA, our sport is more, brutal, is more hit and everything. But you don't have long-term head dramas, long-term concussion. People have to retire because of getting helmet to helmet.
Yeah,
You understand? Like MMA is a lot more safer than NFL because once the ref feels you're not unable to defend yourself or you're halfway not able to fight, stops. Okay.
Yeah.
Or I'm comparing it to the WWE. We know it's sports entertainment. It's great, and I hate to bring it up, but serious accidents happened watching WWE. No one meant to do it. It's been pure by accident, but it is a sport, and sports things as happening. And it's like if you compare it for a long WWE and MMA around, once again, and pro wrestling, there are a lot more injuries and a lot more serious cases. Some situation leading to death versus doing MMA. All right. Now, is MMA still a new sport to pro wrestling? Yes, but the comparison and what we're trying to do, it's still been more injury on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
That's what people understand. Yes, it's a violent sport, and a lot of sports you watch are just as violent or more violent. But if you really do the research, some of the sports you are watching nowadays are more violent than MMA just because of what they do. I mean, think about it. 2 NFL players, football players, going head to head, helmet to helmet, 1,000 pounds of PSI.
Yeah,
okay? That's brain fractures. That's all kinds of stuff, and that's worst case scenarios, right? Now, do we do the same numbers? Yes, we could do the same power rates, but once we get hit one good time, you don't get hit and then play's over, wait 30 seconds and do it again. No, for us, we get hit, the fight's over. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Let's say like this: if this was boxing, I hit Ray like that, that would have been a 10 count. You know what I'm saying? Which, no, I don't agree with that because it could have been worse. The fact that it was that live and it stopped the way it stopped, no more, that's good. He was able to get up, go outside, get checked, and still walk around. In certain cases, in NFL, you see guys all the time, they get hit sometimes, get knocked out so bad, they can't even get up. They got to be willed out, or they had to stop the whole show, all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, it seems that dangerous, but believe it or not, it's just my entertainment, right? And actually, it's less dangerous than most current sports.
Yeah, I think you've got a really good point, because that's kind of what I'm witnessing firsthand is when it starts getting bad and that referee steps in, and I'm so grateful he steps in, but it's true. He protects you. So great point. Growing up. All right, let's go back to that, because I heard that you got diagnosed at 33 years old with an autism disorder, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But you didn't know till you were 33, but you were in classes growing up that were for special needs?
Yep.
All right. So talk to me about that.
All right. So my whole life going in classes, I had, I was in special needs for certain things. For certain classes, like for certain, I'll say speech, readings, certain stuff like that. I have a learning disability coming up. Don't like that. And come to find out, I was never diagnosed what the reason was. It's just certain things I could pick up, certain things I couldn't pick up. Perfect example. So right now, I don't know if you could tell, but the reason why I hesitate in the way I talk is I do still have a speech impediment. I'm just a lot more better at it.
Okay.
Growing up, math was my biggest key. Math, I could do anything real kid. Growing up, I always was acing in math, but anything else I had a problem with. And we didn't know why. Okay, so I was in classes, but they never diagnosed me. They never did the full research. And coming in the neighborhood I'm coming from, and the teachers around, we didn't really have the resources as we do now. Not even close. Okay. So because of that, they knew I was not off. They didn't know I have the exact explanation, but they actually didn't try so hard. So just let me kind of push me on through life and let me do what I'm going to do, and let me basically find my own way to handle this and going through life. So what happened is I got I think I had CT one time. I had to talk to the doctor, and I talked to him about my life. I was telling her, growing up and certain things. She's like, you know what? You might be autistic. I was like, really? I said, but I'm 30-something years old. She was like, yeah, people come out years later and they're on the spectrum. She's like, the way it sounds to me, she's like, and she had explained to me, autism is a wide spectrum, which I didn't know. She gave me the education. And what she explained to me is like, it's not necessarily, you're not in severe or nothing, but you might be in a spectrum. You might get that checked out. And I did. And come to find out, I was. I am.
Wow.
And what it is like, they say I'm on a lower spectrum, and the spectrum is so variant, it's crazy. They're still discovering things about this, but they said I'm definitely on the spectrum. But it kind of explains a lot of things I do. Like, I like to do stuff repeatedly. Like, I watch a movie, I gotta watch it 5-6 times. This is the way I am.
Like right after each other, or
like let's say like I buy a movie.
Okay.
Right? You watch it like Endgame.
Okay.
Endgame for Infinity Wars and all that. I watched that like 5-6 times just to understand the great detail. But it's repeated. But I do the same thing when I train. Like, it's been times when my coach would come down to downstairs from the gym and grab like the rope for me, or grab my gloves for me, because I would be here 6 hours doing the same thing, training. So what happens is, my coach loves me.
Yes.
What he does, he gives me a technique.
Overtraining. Yeah.
Overtraining, and I have an issue with that. I overtrain. Thank God I have a good coach, because of my when I'm diagnosed with, because my autism, I repeat, and if it's not perfect, I repeat, and keep going, to the point where I don't realize how many times I'm doing it. And
So you don't.
Yeah, right. So it's my training too. Until I had someone to tell me, I had some realize a few times, like, to stop me, like, look, you're overdoing it. So I think me being diagnosed with that is I think it's a gift. You know, it's a gift and a curse in its own ways, but it has its gifts in its own way. And the gift is my training. The way I train is when I drink is, once I'm in camp, like I'm in camp right now, the training is go, and there's nothing that stops me. Like, you have to stop me from training.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit for thing. I mean, and that's why I say, people say like that, oh, you're diagnosed and want to feel bad for me. I tell everybody, no, this is a blessing in disguise. You know, I want to be that face for autistic people to know that, listen, because we're autistic doesn't mean that we can't do what that next person is doing, or what any other do. That it doesn't mean we can't do great things. You know, so I only don't want to win this, you know, for my family, but for myself, but to show other kids in my situation, look, this is my situation. Look what I did, and tell them, listen, if I could do it, I'm pretty sure you could do it better. That's my message.
I applaud that. Oh my God. Seriously, there's so many kids out there that are listening to this that have this probably and are going, oh my gosh, I've been hiding and feeling like this is, you know, something so negative that I have to just keep it to myself, and so embarrassed about it. And you're freeing people, John. You're freeing them to say it. Hey, we all have our things. We all have our things, right?
Yes.
So I love it. I would say, I want to ask, what's the negative side have you found of being diagnosed? You said there's positives and negatives.
I felt myself, I repeat stuff. I dwell a lot more than the average person. Believe it or not, people, when I lose, I take it like probably 3 or 4 times harder than the average person, because I dwell, repeat it. Because everything I do, how I said, like, how you bring me out, it's about to get real.
Yeah.
That
has been
constant. Repeating. Now, the flip side is when negative stuff happens, that repeats too. So you have to kind of, you have to know how to train yourself to understand what you're going through, and kind of like work through that. All right, because that sucks. It's a repeating. It's like, oh, I should do this, I should do that, and repeat. The repetition, and getting so down on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have to realize, you know what, things happen, and move on. It's moving on to the next thing. It's kind of hard for me. Change is kind of hard for me too. Certain basic things that the average person could do, I just can't. I had to develop, like even like doing interviews like that. It took time and years to do this.
Really?
I mean, I had to do it secretly. People didn't know it, but eventually I got over that hump, and we were able to get on camera and not be shy and talk like this.
You're doing great.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
This was years of training.
Wow.
Years. Oh yeah, this was trust me.
Well, kudos to you for doing it. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I honestly, I'm glad you give me props, but I did to survive it. It's just like, it was that fear, like, no, I gotta beat this. I got this reputation, so I just didn't want to fail. So and that's the upside. That not wanting to fail. It's just like, I kept doing it, and I kept telling myself, I knew I could do it. I had to break every little detail down of talking and interviewing and stuff like that, and getting used to it, and actually doing. A lot of people don't know this. I used to do practice interview with my mom, So I get used to doing stuff like this. So it was a struggle, but we got through it. Now look at me. I could be on camera and do this and chasing the glory.
Yes, I love it. No, kudos to your mom too for being there for you. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's so good. And I'm sure she's so proud.
Oh, she's very proud. She doesn't like me fighting. And
No?
The reason why she doesn't like me fighting, she doesn't like me hurting people.
Oh, it's not that she's scared of you getting hurt.
She's scared of me hurting
what
somebody.
You're gonna do for somebody else. Wow.
She's like, nah. She's like, because she knows she raised me. She knows my capability. She knows my tips. Like she knows her son to a T. And trust me, she's scared. She says all the time, like, I'm scared that you're really gonna use all your strength and power and hurt somebody. And I'm like, Mom, it's not possible. These guys are that strong. She's like, I don't care what you say. These guys are that good, but I know you, and I'm just scared. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm scared you're gonna hurt somebody. I'm scared. She's definitely scared of me being hurt. She don't think I'm invincible. Definitely, she see me with me getting knocked down, stuff like that, and she's like, "Oh, stuff happens." But she's scared of that part. She's more scared of me seriously hurt somebody, like in somebody's career, versus me getting hurt, which is different. But that's my mom.
Does that make you hesitate at all?
It used to. It used to make me hesitate, but I had a conversation. Me being old, I had a conversation with my mom. Like, listen, if you ever see something crazy, kind of have to deal with it because now it's either do or die. So
yeah, because this is the profession, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I told her, listen, I'd rather me overhurt somebody than me risking me getting injury. So that hesitation, all that, let's see, is gone. I think you saw it in Ray Cooper. There's no hesitation.
There's no hesitation.
No,
no. Not at all.
No, not even a little bit.
You've had 28 wins.
Yes.
You've had 15 losses.
Yes.
In those 15 losses, they said sometimes those are the biggest gifts because that's where you really, really learn as to what went wrong. And I'm sure like with you repeated it, you've dissected it. What are some of the biggest lessons that you learned from your losses, whether it's losses in the ring or whether it's losses in life?
The one thing I learned about losses is you don't necessarily have to be the better fighter. You just need to be a better fighter that night. It just needs to happen that night. The one thing I appreciate from my losses is how to get beat up. How to get beat up. You learn how to beat up and how to survive getting beaten up. Beating up is actually an art. It's not all about dominating the opponent. It's accepting your opponent and learning how to go through the motions through the fight and hang in there and always never give up. That's the most important thing I learned with my losses because some fights that I struggle through fighting in that sequence. It's taught me where just to hang in there. And I appreciate my loss, especially the ones that the losses that hurt.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate those because it taught me a lot what really fighting is and where I can't be about just this emotional guy. I need to be logical. So it lets me to bring out the logic of fighting. And that's what losses taught me, that sometimes it's not the more aggressive, the more agile, the more tougher guy. It's sometimes the more simply logic guy. And that's what it taught me. Sometimes it's time to be aggressive and it's time to be a logic.
Wow.
And that's what it taught me.
Yeah, that's great. Great analysis. You can pretty much put that all through life because sometimes we get so emotional that when you're so emotional, you can't make the best decisions. So you just said it right there. You got to cool off and think logical. All right, I'm going to take you to Boston. Now you were with UFC for a while. Then did you leave UFC and then something happened at the Boston Marathon, the bombings, and then you said to UFC when you saw that they were going to come back and have a fight in Boston, you're like, put me in. This means too much to me. Tell me about the whole scenario.
Well, this is what happened in Boston. I got in the Boston car. I was training for a fight, for a whole nother fight. And what happens? Uriah Hall had an opponent that fell out. So they were looking for opponents. I kind of put it on social media, put out there. Listen, I would love to fight in that Boston card. I would love to be on that card. I'm from Boston. It makes sense. And at first, there was no response. There was nothing happening. Well, I had 4 weeks exactly right before the fight. They gave me a call. That listen, you think you can make weight and can you fight Uriah Hall? I was like, yes, I'd love to be back to be on and be in Boston. Like, yes.
Yeah.
And they gave me that fight. And it was good. It was good for so many reasons because with you mentioned the Boston Marathon, the Boston Bombers. I'm gonna talk about my little involvement in that. Zanaev, the Boston bomber #1, the suspect #1, the one that they killed.
Yeah.
That's the guy who broke his nose before all that Boston bombing. I'm the one that broke his nose.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I broke his nose. He trained a wire crew, not necessarily trained a wire crew. He was like a sparring member of wire crew at the time. Like he trained there, not as much, but he'll train and more to spar. A lot of people didn't like sparring because he was a good boxer. He's a Golden Glove boxer, and he's a whip ass. I can't lie about that. But
wow,
we sparred one time. We got real, and when we got real, he's a better boxer, but I have that Doomsday power.
Yeah.
So I hit him with my famous left hand, broke his nose. I hit him the bar, I dropped him, and I went to finish him because of my MMA background. But
yeah.
The coach stopped me. I wish he didn't stop me because he deserved to be finished.
Right.
Asshole. But yeah, that was my involvement, and then that being part of that and being that coming to Boston, the whole Boston strong coming up, the whole thing about that, and I could support that. That was like it just made sense for everything to come together, and it all came together, and then from there. I was back in the UFC. I won that fight against Uriah Hall. I think a split decision.
Yeah.
And it was in Boston. It was just one of those nights that needs to happen. That did happen. Everything went right that night. It was awesome.
Yeah. Wow. God, Lee, that's crazy to think you were so close to him. What did it make you feel when you found out the news that he was the one that was, involved?
It kind of pissed me off as a perpetrator, and the way he came to us and the way he was acting. Because he was off. What I mean by off is like he'll come there, he'll act, but he was like stuck up, if that makes sense. It was just like when he first came there, it was okay. As time went on, he got like come stuff out. He was like not necessarily better than everybody, but he was like above certain things. And it was just like, dude, I'm like, I don't know who the hell you think you are, but it's not that serious. Yeah. But come to find out, history shows he was radicalized when he went back to his country a few times. And then he came back with an attitude and then did what he did. So that's what happened. But what pissed me off is like knowing him, the type of person, I was like, you're bringing that negativity to my city for what? For what? Because you don't understand us and because you're aggravated or because you see something you don't agree with. I'm like, listen, we don't agree with a lot of stuff you do with. Doesn't mean I come over here and just beat you down.
Right.
That's my attitude. Because my thing is like, yeah, you're a good boxer, but I'm an MMA fighter. I'll take your ass down, snap your neck, and see what's up. Because you're not certain things you do. It's not too like, But when he was a coward like that, I'm like that pissed me off. And the fact that he was at our gym was like, oh great. We felt some type of way because had we had a clue, we could have stopped him, but we didn't know. We really didn't know. It was
There's
just like
sometimes you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
You can't. And you can't put that on you. And I'm sure you put on repeat all when you see you. I'm sure that you put on repeat as to trying like the interactions that you had with him. Like, God, did I have any inkling? But no.
Right. Every
like
single day. But a lot of people know, like, I didn't hang out with him. I didn't chill with him, nothing like that. It was no situation like that. It was just literally we had a gym relationship. And the gym relationship was basically between our coaches because our coaches set our sparring matches up between each other. They keep him first and keep me first. So that's what it is. I mean, he was talented enough to to go blow for me. I have more power than him.
Wow. Well, there you go. Well, I'm glad that you were able to go back into Boston and have that moment that night. Boston strong. I think it's great. You're still living in Boston, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm still in Boston. Representing the B-Town all the time. Hey, we're the city of champions. What from the Red Sox, the Bruins, the Patriots.
God, I know.
Celtics, yes. City of champions. You know what? I'm gonna tell you like this. Hey, you can be mad at me or what, but after I bring this PFL back, the belt back to Boston, we're really gonna be city of champions.
There'll be another one. Oh my God.
There'll be another one, another championship on the Boston's belt. I love it.
Can you smell it? Can you taste it?
Oh, I can taste it. It's right there. That PFL goes right there. Oh, I can't wait.
Well, I'm so excited to announce you again. I'm so excited to see you in action. I cannot wait. October 11th, right? It's just right around the corner.
We have a great camp. Everything's good. I don't want to give too many secrets what happened, but we are ready. We're ready for my opponents. We're ready for my future opponents, and we're excited.
I love it. Well, I thank you for being so open. We say here, real, raw, inspiring. because you being so open and being so real, especially sharing that whole thing about autism and what you've done to overcome it and how you've overcome it and being just open about it. I think it's a beautiful thing what you're doing. I love the platform that you've chosen. And yeah, it's going to make people cheer for you even more to win. So
thank
go
you,
John
thank you.
Howard.
Oh, thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Real quick, I'm gonna just say this real quick.
Yeah.
I will be looking for you to stay. It's about to get
About to
real.
get real.
Once I heard that, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna point at you like this, like, hey.
Hopefully, I have to do it like there's a certain time that I get the cue to do it because it's only once a night. So hopefully, if you're the match that's in there and I get to say it, I'm gonna look right at you.
Yes, I was like, you know what? Now that I know that, I'm more actually it has to be when I'm there. Got to be. Just because I think I have one of the best knockouts in my divisions for the season, and I think I have the fastest punch for the season. I believe. So yeah.
How did it feel for you? Because actually, you went from last season you were in a different weight class, and now you're in the welterweight. You had to actually drop. How was cutting for you? Because I've seen some of the cutting action that's going on, and it blows my mind. Oh my God, I feel so bad for you guys. Like when you get ready, like when you're stepping on the scale, you can't even think. People holding you guys up, like it's crazy. How's cutting for you?
Cutting it's not necessarily easy. It's not hard because I've been doing it for so long. So I know my body well. I like fighting 185 because believe it or not, I feel like I have a lot more power at 185.
Yeah.
I'm just not that big. I'm small for 185. So I can hang with the 85. I fight Uriah Hall in UFC 185, so I can hang with them. But cutting to 170, I feel the power I carry at 170. It's like a middleweight who hits like a heavyweight. That's what I feel like. So bringing that to welterweight, that's my advantage. Because I throw with so much power. That's advantage. The cutting weight doesn't hurt so much. It's not easy, but because I have a good nutritionist and a great coach, and I've been doing it for more than 10 years cutting weight, I know exactly how to get my body weight just down right. So a lot of the young kids do these hard cuts in the sauna and everything like that. No, now I do a cut in the sauna, just not a hard cut. Some guys do like 10, 13 pounds in the sauna. I might do 7 to 8. That's it. And then after that, and then make weight. And then by the next day, put a good 20 pounds on more and go from there.
Right. So that's what's blown my mind, John, is the fact that you guys at one day, just the day before, you hardly can walk. And then the next day you're in the ring killing someone. How did your body recoup that quickly? Almost like 24 hours.
It goes into survival mode and knows when it's time to get real, like you say.
Yeah.
But it goes to survival. But I tell you that, like, even though it seems like we do a great job, until after that fight, for the most part, you're dead. I'm tired. After that fight, because it's just putting your body from one extreme, cutting weight, and then putting your body to another extreme, fighting, and then you have to give your body some rest. Right? I used to say, if we're superheroes like Batman and stuff like that, I see why Batman used to sleep for weeks at a time. I get it now.
There you go. And that's why the break in between, like the regular season and the playoffs and then the championship, because we got to give you guys time to heal.
Yeah, some time to heal and some to rest. And it's gladly pushes the way the way PFL puts everything together between regular season and playoffs and everything. It's appreciated because we didn't. Oh my goodness, I don't know what we'd be doing.
Yeah.
We'd be hurting.
Yeah. All right. So my final question to you: has your chase for glory looked the way you thought it was going to look?
Actually, no. It looked better than I thought. Way better than I thought. I say that because when I fought Ray Cooper, I didn't think I was gonna knock Ray Cooper that fast up. Not in the first round. I thought it would be like a TKO, a situation where I have to work for it, or being back and forth. I did not. If you asked me right before the fight, you gonna knock out? And told me I was gonna knock out Ray Cooper the third in the first round. I'll laugh at you like, yeah, all right, I'm good, but I would have denied you. I was like, yeah, okay, you're talking smoke up my butt. I don't believe you. So the way I picture it, it's turning out way better. It's way better. So right now, my whole thing is I'm gonna train hard, and like Kevin Hart says, I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel, and that's how I'm gonna do it. Because obviously, like with my vision, and what happen's been way better. So if that's the case, I'm gonna let it happen and train for the worst, for the best scenario, and let it happen.
So is that pretty much the same scenario as your life? Because you didn't know you were going to be an MMA fighter when you were a little kid and you're looking as to what's my life going to be? You know, what's my chase for glory? Has it looked better, you know, from what you imagined it as a kid?
Yeah, it looked way better. I never thought as a kid, you know, especially when I started fighting, even consider it, that I'll be in Brazil fighting. I'll be in like Abu Dhabi fighting over there, fighting overseas, and training with legendary, training with Gracies, and training with. Oh, I never thought that. And honestly, I am so happy I went to MMA than any other sport, because the stuff I learned and stuff that I learned of controlling and the power and the chi and all some stuff that comes with MMA, in the old school way, amazing. I didn't know the human body was so much capable as it is, and before I did MMA, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I understand how, like, you know, people can have careers up to like 45, 43, like René Couture, because the body is so amazing if you just in tune it and train it so well. You know, a lot of sports you can't, you know, perform past a certain age to kind of get your call off. Like in MMA, if you still do it, you know, you can. People don't forget, you know, there was also UFC fighters who were legit 53 years old fighting and winning.
Yeah.
In the first UFC, there was a guy 53 years old. He fought and won, called the Black Dragon. I don't forget that. So like it's just amazing. So what we can do is there's no cap on MMA. You know, if you really believe in and your spirit's there, you can keep going.
So that's great, because it makes you feel young even now. Like you're in your 30s and you're like, oh, I got like 20 more years.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I feel I'm in my prime. Especially after happened to Ray. I feel I'm in my prime.
All right.
I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Well, good luck to you. I can't wait to October 11th, Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be spectacular. Make sure you go out and join us. We're both going to be in the cage, at least for a few minutes. I'll be in there with you, and then I'm going to get the hell out.
Oh, yeah, that's when Doomsday comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So tell everybody how they find you on social media.
Oh, thank you so much. You can John Doomsday Howard on IG, John Doomsday Howard on Snapchat. If you really wanted to get to know me and talk to me, Snapchat's the way to do it.
Really?
John Doomsday Howard fan page on Facebook, John Howard on Facebook. I might have too many people, friends. You only allow like 5,000 friends, so when people request me, I'm sorry. It's Facebook rules.
Oh, wow.
John Doomsday Howard on Twitter.
Okay.
And that's it. Basically, any social outlet, John Doomsday Howard, you find me, I'm there.
I love it. All right. Well, I'll see you October 11th.
Yes, I can't wait.
Take care. Okay.
Thank you.
Chasing Glory with Lilian Garcia.
And there you have it, John Doomsday Howard's journey of chasing glory. What a glorious story that was. You know why? Because it was so inspirational. John, to find out that you had autism in your 30s, and now you're using that as a platform to help others, to tell people with autism that they can still go after their dreams, that is truly remarkable. Thank you for being so inspiring. And good luck to you on Friday. All right, guys, remember at the beginning of the show, I said that Madrid, Spain was going to be the last stop on the Chasing Glory tour? Well, that was until I remembered holy Toledo. That's right. I'm not talking about Toledo, Ohio. I'm talking about Toledo, España. Toledo is beautiful. If you guys are listening to the show, please go back and watch it. YouTube.com/Lilian Garcia. I am showing you right now in the backdrop, it is a medieval city. They call it an imperial city for a reason. It is incredible. Lots of swords, lots of armor. I mean, the true medieval times, the guys were fighting for their lives here. It's got a moat around the city. It is lighting up right now in the background. Unbelievable. It is magical. And the streets, itty bitty streets. That's right. No Hummers are going to be going through this streets. In fact, I was even stretching from wall to wall. You have to experience this for yourself. Don't forget to try the carcamusas. Incredible dish. And if you're looking to come here, which by the way, it's only a 30-minute train ride from Madrid, Spain, make sure you stay at Entre Dos Aguas. It's a hotel, only has 5 rooms, magical. It's like you're in your own home. It's incredible. So a big shout out to them because it was really something to experience. And that is the home, or was the home, of Paco de Lucia, which is a famous guitarist. So you have to experience it for yourself. All right, so Toledo, thank you. Barcelona, thank you. Paris, France, and Madrid, Spain, my magical Madrid, Spain, where I grew up. And thank you guys for, joining us here on Chasing Glory for the Europe tour. All right, so from here, heading to Las Vegas, Nevada. It is time for the PFL playoffs. That is right, I am the cage announcer for the MMA PFL playoffs. That's going to be shown on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Kicks off this Friday night with the welterweight division and the women's 155-pound division. So exciting because, like I said, here in the medieval times, they were fighting for their lives. But they're fighting for $1 million to change their lives. It all starts off this Friday night as they continue on to October 17th and then October 31st. It is all heading to Madison Square Garden for the championship on New Year's Eve. $1 million awarded in each division. So $6 million overall is being given away that night. So make sure you join us this Friday night as I'm be in the cage ready for the PFL. All right, this is it. I promise, this is truly it. The Europe tour is done. Thank you, muchísimas gracias por todo. De verdad que ha sido increíble. I love you guys so much. Remember to always go out there and live with much peace, love, and passion. And thank you for following the show at Chasing Glory on Instagram, and me at Lilian Garcia on Instagram and Twitter, Lilian Garcia official fan page on Facebook, and more importantly, that 5-star rating and those reviews, and continue to subscribe and spread the word. Okay, remember to go out there, be yourself, and trust that it's enough. I love you. Muchísimas gracias. Adiós.
Thanks for joining us here on Chasing Glory from executive producer Lilian Garcia. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and be sure to subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.